not starting the stream because you don't want it to go live?
I'm waiting for Joe.
About to start right now.
It's nice outside today.
Excuse me?
It's nice outside.
Yeah, it's incredible.
We should do a Pundits live from somewhere.
Ooh, that'd be fun.
We should have did it from the Democratic Convention or some old mess. They'd all probably hate us, but
I'm trying to think it's probably possible. I don't know to come with it. About doing live stuff.
we should just go live from City Hall.
Are you coming?
He's right there.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Oh, it's 11:01. Hey, you want to tell Markeisha that we're ready?
Yeah.
What's up, man?
We should go live from City Hall. Hey, cutie pie.
How are you, gorgeous?
I'm enjoying summer while I got it.
I can tell. Look, Markeisha in?
Yeah, she's in.
Oh, okay. Man, I'm calling your elevator the 16-week project. Man. It takes 16 weeks to get from the first to the third floor.
That's because that restaurant is using the elevator they work in.
I'm hungry.
That thing is over.
Hungry. I ain't bring my snack. What kind of punditry is this?
We need a sponsor.
I can do that.
Bring us some bread, somebody.
Look at that.
We need some sponsor. We need somebody to feed the pundits.
Feed the pundits.
Who can fund it on an empty stomach?
There's an open chair for you. Why don't you over there?
Hello and welcome to Dateline New Haven. I'm your host, Paul Bass, inviting you to look behind the headlines
Harry got
on the
to talk
stories
Jerry
that
Rig.
make New Haven tick. Nothing ticks better than Pundit Friday.
Harry's like, I
Which
hate
are about to begin here in the WNHH studio with the #1 pundits in the media universe, like the validating voice of vivification, vanquishing all vanity and vacillation, the pastor of parking ticket palpitation, the dairy-free goddess of our grassroots radio operation,
There we go.
Babs, Rawls, Ivy.
Did you do the quick way?
Yes, yeah, you get their Facebooks. All right.
I know I have to do the Aretha wave.
Now we got the flyest news gatherer this side of the Fleet Street, the boss of the budget beat and the beauty beat, who was also just seconds ago, editing an article for New Haven Independent, but racing in star New Haven Independent reporter Markeisha Ricks.
Oh my God. Y'all.
I'm trying to go to the beach.
Oh, we got the
Oh.
behind the controls. We got the famous intern Sam. We got
Yeah, Sam
just
is
another
the
week
cutie,
of him.
Cutie millennial.
He is part of the family here. We're gonna miss him terribly when he goes
I
back to
know.
school, but we are gonna let him go back to school.
Really?
But you don't want to quit school and live this life?
No, maybe.
Yeah, living by
Don't-
mom does sound enticing. But
We got WNHA station manager and heavy D Donald Trump devotee Harry Droz, the bravest man in New Haven. Anybody else around? I'm looking. Oh yeah, we got the banisher of bilious bullies, the sorcerer of scientific solution, the just-in-time judge of jackals and japery, the poobah of unparalleled political passion and perspicacity,
Yeah.
the griot of the grassy knoll, the conquistador of cussing criminals, the mellifluous and meritocratic miner of melody, the plow driver of peace, the driver out of demons, discord, and dissonance, the optimizer of opulence and opportunity, the undertaker of unfiltered utterance, the erudite earl of ergonomics, the executioner of existential enemies, the alchemist of assonance and alliteration, the zealous zapper of xenophobia, the quintessential quipper of quotable quackery, the distinguished duke of diplomacy and daytime, the deacon of the dozens, bodhisattva of battle rap, missionary of modesty, mesmerizer of the masses, shaman of the shoreline, recognized ringleader of risque repartee, the West Indian whisperer of Wonk. He's also the maximum media maestro, bodacious bold-faced barista, Bob Chessmaster of Chill, primo practitioner of pop prestidigitation, beyond just somewhat honorable high priest of hip-hop, right reverend of rapture, reigning raconteur of Griffitude, sanctified slayer of the slow-witted, the never late for supper, decorated, dazzling, and indefatigable dunker and driver of the dinner dishes, Maxim mixologist Joe Ugly of the Joe Ugly Show. Welcome, sir. Welcome all.
Hello, sir.
Happy birthday to us.
Us.
Happy birthday
Oh, is it?
to us. Happy toddler number 2 birthday. WNHH FM at 103.5 FM, live stream to NewHavenIndependent.org. Happy Happy birthday to us. We are 2 years old today.
Did you hear me this morning? I shouted us out on this morning.
We should have done something.
We are doing something. It's called Pundit Radio, looking behind the headlines.
There you go.
It's
What
like
if it was a
cake.
birthday without cake?
There'll be vegan ice cream around noon, so hang out.
Ooh.
I'll take that.
This has sounded sweet. That is a birthday celebration. We've been on the air 2 years, folks. And I have to say that my favorite part of the week is Pundit Friday with you guys looking at the headlines. I'm not making that up. I think you guys are the best.
All right, thank you, sir.
Well, there's mixed reviews out there.
And if not, we would not be doing our job. There are mixed reviews out there about people submitting petitions to get on the ballot in the general election and in the primary. So there are all sorts of municipal elections this year.
Oh, Lord.
And it is ridiculously easy to get on the ballot for the general election. And it is hard to get on the ballot for the Democratic primary because of weird ballot access rules. So if you're in Alder, for instance, on Ward 4, you need only 5 signatures from registered Democrats in your ward. 5. In some wards, it's 3.
Everybody in my house.
Now, I am told, we can't confirm it till later today, so I'm not going to use names. I am told that one candidate who needed 5 signatures failed because she hadn't read the directions that they need to be voters in your ward.
But they were just named from anywhere in your neighborhood.
And it is, if you want to have a citywide office like mayor, you need only 122 valid signatures. So Marcus Packard got on easy.
Run for mayor.
Marcus Packard, oh yeah.
Could have if you made the deadline.
So Marcus Packard got in easy. 122 signatures, got easily validated. We're going to have a general election. A woman named Sarah Ganag, who's running for mayor from the Working Families Party, who does not want to be mayor. She doesn't want to be in debates. She wants to get a ballot line, which in I think 15 Connecticut communities, they have a Working Families ballot line, including all the other cities. But they don't try to win the election. What they do is they usually cross-endorse Democrats who are progressive on a separate line, and then sometimes run their own candidates. They're running some in Wyndham, and Hartford.
I actually remember finding that very confusing on the last.
Right, you could vote for Rose DeLore
Because I was
or
like, do I
Obama.
vote for them
Or
twice
Hillary.
if I like that part?
That's in Chicago. But
I found it confusing.
so she's apparently got on. There was another guy, but anyone can get on. There was another guy named Webster and Grant. Apparently he might not have. But then you got the primary, right? Democratic primary, and the rules are so ridiculous there. It's got to be 5% of the registered voters of your party. And there you have to get 1,852 valid signatures to run for mayor on the ballot. And you usually get a lot, get crossed off because it's hard to do exactly right. So they give you only 2 weeks, which is really unfair. It has to be between the convention and 2 weeks. You only have 2 weeks. So that, I feel, is the other extreme. So Marcus Packard turned in 3,200 signatures, and props to him. He personally got 1,000. And now Barb's met someone who wasn't that impressed of getting her signature. But they worked hard, and they don't have the results. They do not have the results yet as of this Friday morning. I'm banking that he's going to get 2 shots at the apple. But what do you folks think about that? What do you think about needing as few as 122 for a citywide race or 3 for Alder to get on the general election ballot? And yet for a party primary, you need 1,852 in only 2 weeks.
It's harder to be on Survivor than it is to run for mayor.
But what are we trying to accomplish with these rules?
Is this a
I
social
don't know.
studies class?
It is.
Because it seems like access to the ballot is,
I would argue
if you want to run.
I would argue that there should be rules. I actually think that not just anyone should get on. You should prove you have some support. So I actually think the general election is too few because we spend money for people running. I don't think you have to run to win. You can make a point like Sarah Ganag and organize for it. But if you don't organize for it, we often spend money on races where a person isn't really a serious candidate. I believe that rules exist to show some bars so you don't just have 10,000 people on.
Right.
But then if you make it so exclusive, you're limiting the kind of people who run and the voices. So while Marcus Packard gets big,
you were right.
he gets big props for getting so many for the Democratic primary. But why should it be this 2-week mad scramble that most people, what about people who just have some support, will add a lot to the debate, be a legitimate candidate, but can't get
How are
really
they a legitimate
3,000?
candidate if they can't garner support?
Well, the only reason, Tony Harvey, remember when she ran in 2013, who was a legitimate candidate, the Democratic Party and Jackie James, her campaign person, forgot to submit the paperwork when she got endorsed. You remember that?
One job, right?
Right. So they had only 2 weeks to get their signatures. And really the only reason she got on was because Unite Here was in her campaign and they had 1,000 people just go out and get those signatures.
Right.
It is hard. I think there are a lot of people actually would be before the voters, would be, how do you set the bar, Joe?
I remember when Jared Parker was running for the city council in 85, I think it was. was, and they had to scramble to get those signatures. It just was a strong supporting cast. You know?
Right, and I believe that there should be, as I said, I think there should be, you should have to sweat somewhat. Like, I don't feel sorry for Marcus Packard people. They had to run and get them. It's a good way to get your message out in the campaign. But I think it's in general, I think the parties write the rules to keep people out so they can pick their own people. And I think they suffer for it. I think the city suffers for it. And on the other hand,
But it seems like the general election is the great equalizer then. Like you can still run in the general.
right, and until recently, there was no general election in New Haven. All elections were decided in primaries. But now we have 14,000 independents, unaffiliated voters out of around, I think it's around 62,000. So, and we have had mayor elections, 2011 with Karikis, 2013 with Justin Elliker, where they actually did make it a real race, and it was close. So yeah, I think there are general elections. So I think you're right, Markeisha. Are we overdoing the equalizer? Do people like us who believe in ballot access go too far in saying you need so few signatures for a general election? Or Joe, what do you think? What do you think, Babs? Do you think Henri Summer should just be on the ballot every time, and we should spend money to monitor those elections if there's nobody else?
I think you need to, if you can show yourself as a legitimate candidate, I think you should be on the ballot, and yes, the money should be supported as such.
Is it legitimate 3 signatures? Like a certain board of alders, you have to get your mom and your
Right,
husband
exactly.
and your aunt.
Well, things like that. I mean, 3 signatures to send an award, like you said, Bab said she could get that in her house. She's right. I mean, that's easy. So
Should you have to demonstrate some real support?
Right.
I mean, I don't know about what you quantify as real support.
No,
Because I think if you have the heart and determination, we should have made it harder for you to participate in your democratic right.
Right. So what I'm arguing, Babs, and maybe you don't agree with me. Maybe you don't agree with me. I believe that in the primary we make it way too hard, and in the general we make it way too easy. Because there should be some bar. There should be some bar, so it's not just everybody
when you
who
say make
pretends
it
they're
too
running.
easy, you mean like so where
You
you
think
have
the threshold
limited.
is too low in the
No, but at that point, I
like
don't
3
even.
people.
Even though apparently some people didn't meet that threshold.
Well, there you have it. So
So maybe it works just right.
Once again, you don't know how to garner
Because
support.
if you can't get 3 people,
No, you can,
I'm gonna use like a Harry Jones argument though. It does sound very elitist to say like you have to prove that you're a legitimate candidate. Well, what does that mean?
yeah,
Like you
what
might
does
be
that
somebody who doesn't understand the political process the way it works at a
Then-
particular level.
then stay
But
away
does-
from politics from that particular
But
level.
like
You wanna
you're
make
saying
decisions
that
on people's
but those
lives and
same
you don't
people are
understand
allowed
how
to
it works.
vote, Joe Ugly. Are you
Right.
saying they shouldn't be allowed to vote?
You're
Because
allowed to
I think
vote, sir.
certain framers in this country
No.
decided that people couldn't vote if they couldn't
No,
pass
you are
certain tests.
you are allowed to
So
vote.
what are you
I'm not trying to
saying?
take away their right for voting. They're allowed to vote, but when they're in that position, what they do affect a lot of people's lives.
Markeisha, he's saying, Markeisha's saying,
down for
I didn't
Harry.
expect that to come out, but it just I was like, but that sounds actually a little
but
weird.
Markeisha Joe is saying there should be a higher bar to run the city than the vote.
There should be a higher bar just to be.
And
that
generally,
just
my
asking the
general,
right
I'm
to
playing contrary.
Okay.
I'm channeling my inner Harry Joe
Okay.
because I do believe,
But
and
let me
quite frankly,
challenge my
I
Joe
believe,
pushback.
but I believe that there are,
Obama.
but I believe we are making an
But
argument,
Obama-
and I might personally agree with your argument. But if I were Harry Jones, I would argue that we're being elitist and we're taking away the right to participate in the political process.
No, we're not.
cutting you off
No,
at the
no.
voting level. We're saying,
I
but
think
you
that's an
could be
excellent
somebody
wait,
who
wait.
doesn't know the process at the level that people who know,
And this-
oh, I have to
and
get all these
clearly-
signatures.
No,
And
Markeisha.
clearly we have a president who does not know the process.
No, wait. But Harry
And
Joe,
that could be the argument for why you would not allow certain people to
Exactly.
participate in that process, but at
No,
the same
not
time.
at that level. You keep saying the process. You can participate in the process, but not on the level of running things.
But I-
because when you're on that level,
I'm not saying you're running
No,
things,
and
you're
they're-
just
and they're-
running for an
and they're pretending
opportunity
to be
to
you.
run things.
yes, but when you get to that opportunity, what if you accidentally
I could
win
be
like
here.
this? Calm down in DC. I mean, come on, Harry Jones.
Well, that wasn't an
no, but wait. Let's ask.
People are literally voting.
We have Harry Droz here. I would argue that Markeisha got it wrong. Harry Droz is all in favor of kicking black people off the ballot through this Republican scam that's called "We're getting rid of illegal
Right.
voters."
Exactly.
Even though in all the whole country, when they looked for people who weren't supposed to
Correct.
vote, they found one Republican who voted for Trump
Exactly.
and no fraud at all.
No
But I thought
fraud.
Harry's for limiting it, like make people drive 3 hours in Alabama just to register to vote if they're from a black part of the state.
I don't
With
think
no
that's
car.
what Markeisha's
Harry speaks.
argument was. Okay, so
Oh, don't
but
run. Don't
I'm
run.
for all people voting. I'm also for all people having voter ID. But if you only need 3 people and your mother won't support you, that says everything.
That lets you know what your chances are. Like,
But at least we will let you get your fair time on Pundit Friday, which you're listening to on and your mama will vote for you on Pundit Friday at WNHH Radio, 103.5 FM live team at NewHavenEvent.org. We're here with the best one. Hey guys,
like,
Ward
you don't take out
30.
the trash. I ain't voting for you.
So there are talking about voting in Ward 30.
Yeah.
It's one of the few areas we're going to have a primary for Alder. We don't have that many, but Ward 30 is an anomaly. So it's in the part of town where you have West Rock, and it's divided in half where you have to like go all the way around to see each other. One half of it is West Hills, McCoggy Terrace, Valley Street. Then it's the part that connects that to West Rock is not part of the ward. That's a different ward. Then if you drive all the way to the other side of West Rock, then which you only get one road through, then you have all the public housing developments like Brookside Rockview. They're also part of the ward. So that ward gets sliced in half by the, I remember once when I covered a race there, people thought of having a tunnel between, bring them together. But anyway, they have 2 separate polling places because they're so far away. And we spend all this money to have 2 teams to come on the election. And then almost no one votes. It's usually the lowest or one of the lowest voting. Like we did it one year, we sent a reporter out to see when the first person was going to vote. And Alan, every hour we updated it. And Alan Pell watched something like 30 wild turkeys walk past the polls until the first voter came 7 hours later. But 2 people, teams of poll workers are getting paid all day. Yet, even though no one votes just about in Ward 30, we have 3 candidates vying for that office. Michelle Sepulveda, who's temporarily from the seat, used to hold it. The wife, Tasha James Golson, who's married to Darnell Golson, the former Alder, and Chris Delgado. Any sense about why no one votes there or why 3 people would be going for the prize?
Well, why no one will vote is because of what you said. And, you know, the thing about voting that people fail to understand, you know, we look for convenience first. We look for convenience first when we're talking about voting. You know, a lot of people do. And that's a problem.
It is convenient there, though. They have 2 polling places.
Yeah, but then it's a level of confusion because now you have two voting polls.
So do you think 1,000 more people would vote if they just weren't confused about which side of the rock to go to?
It's a matter of confusion. I think people.
I love your conspiracy theories, but I'm not buying this one. That there are all these people saying, "Man, I'm going to vote today. I'm going the wrong place, though."
What's that?
You're under your theory. All these people in West Rock and West Hills want to vote, but they go the wrong place.
West Hills side, and you just happen to be on that side of the mountain. Can you go into that poll on that side of the mountain?
No, but I've never heard of a case of someone going to the wrong one.
No, but that's what I'm saying.
And
how do you know if they're not avoiding it
because
because
there's an economic divide in that community, right? Like in public housing and people who might be more well-to-do, but I don't understand why the well-to-do people don't vote.
They're not well-to-do. I mean, the other side, the West Hills side has McGonaghy Terrace. You have working class plus public housing.
Right.
And the public housing has changed on the other side of the rock. It's gotten somewhat mixed housing. It's quite beautiful.
Right.
And I agree with you that historically they were quite different because you do have some homeowners, working class on the other side of the rock on West Hills, in addition to McGonaghy Terrace. But now it's getting a little more, but they still might have different issues. You're right, because West Rock is so isolated. You just have that one road that goes in from Southern.
Correct.
And you're kind of like the forgotten part of New Haven.
Yeah,
But
thanks,
I guess
Mayor.
I would think that the people running in the ward haven't forgotten about that. Like, or do they just people like whoever's running? Like, how do you bring that community together? They don't sound very cohesive. Like they're just.
I have a feeling you're going to find out.
I am. So if these candidates are listening, I'm calling you because I'm trying to interview.
And at this point, we don't know if Americo Carpia is going to qualify to have a primary for probate judge. He had more than enough signatures submitted, but they have to be verified. We'll find out later today or Monday.
So this will be a real push to see what the Latino power is.
Well, he's not Latino.
What is he?
He's Italian American. Latino votes went for Clifton Graves at the convention on the second ballot first. But now you have basically people at the probate court, the Jack Keys legislative judge there, who want Americo. They think he do a better job.
He's quite familiar with the job,
and then you have African American political people.
What is his stance? You know, what does he stand on? You know, is he really a true probate? Because a lot goes through probate court. So much. So, you know, it's, oh gosh. Like
it's an important job.
It's a very important job.
Clifton Graves Jr. has the support of sort of the black political establishment on the ward level.
He's got a swanky fundraiser coming up Saturday.
Oh, yeah, where's that?
I think it's Sharon Grant's house.
So I have a hard time seeing him losing, but who knows?
Yeah. He's got a really nice video out that
Is that right?
Travis Carabello shot.
For Clifton.
Yeah, it's nice.
Interesting
I'm
how
gonna be on the campaign trail.
It's
it's
really
probably a
nice.
lot nicer than conditions at the Strauss Adler apartments.
I mean, how much?
Oh
of a
my
fundraiser-
gosh, let's talk about that.
What's
Well,
going on? What's going on at the Strauss Adler?
Okay, that's the old
The
smoothie
owner
factory,
suing again
and it was the
Oh, what
first.
do you want now?
Well,
to
so,
keep the folks who developed the
so that's an
complex.
apartment complex right by the State
Still.
Street train station. It's not poor people's housing. It's market rate housing, but it's not supermarket rate. It's not like what Joe Ugly pays at 360 State across the street. But it was the first wave. It was the first wave of
Joe
that
was
new
not
housing.
insulted by that.
It was the first wave of that new housing, renovating a factory.
I thought they had a
Where things are
foundation
happening.
problem, though.
They had tons of problems. They haven't been. It's a Philadelphia landlord that everything they own in New Haven has a problem. The tenants hate them. The city goes after them to have conditions be better. They don't fix it, but they're raking in the money because they were first there. So meanwhile, because people want to build up this part between Wooster Square and downtown, have that kind of urban living, there were two great proposals for a couple hundred apartments and communities right across Chapel Street on mostly vacant land.
Yeah.
And for years they've been held up because the owner of Strauss Adler, PMC from Philly, doesn't want the competition. Instead of investing more in their building, they're spending money on lawyers to come up with fake lawsuits to stop the other one. So they keep losing the lawsuits because there's no basis to it, but they're able to drag through the courts for years while the New Haven's tax base suffers, building up that community suffers, and all because of one greedy slumlord who doesn't want the competition.
And the city has tried to find people to buy them out. Like other developers have offered to buy them out, so they just go away, and they persist. And what's crazy to me is that they are so myopic about this one building that's going to go up across the street that they see as competition. 85 Elm Street is getting built. There's so many properties in downtown that are being built, so you already have competition.
Yeah, what is
Like,
there?
So they filed a new
That's
lawsuit this
not
week.
gonna change.
Because a week ago we thought, okay, finally these things can be built.
Just leave.
No, stay.
Well, they're just gonna move into the new buildings once their leases are over
They're
because
dead
those,
enough.
by
I
the
need them to
time
stay right there.
they're gonna move.
No, I think they should. Everybody should just.
Well, it's going to be years, folks, and New Haven suffers because of, now you have every right to go to
Cole
court.
was trying to figure out what I was
Yeah, I was
saying.
thinking what Joe always has a fun one when he does the
Why,
contrary.
why do you want them to stay where they are?
I don't need no one blocking my view.
Oh, they're only going up four. They're only going
Yeah,
four
these are
stories.
right?
You're on the 100th floor.
Exactly.
Yeah, you're on the
Not
100th floor,
fourth
I need to see the highway.
You on par with the Knights of Columbus.
I need to see the highway. I
Joe
have
Ugly,
needs.
public policy from the view of the 100th floor. Three
You know, that's such a
You need to move
Republican.
to the
That's
sky
such a Republican
apartment on
stance.
top of the
All
union.
about me. Such a Republican stance.
Well,
Before I moved up there, trust me, I was all for the people.
Self-serving.
Well,
Exactly.
whoever.
Before I moved above the people, I was for the people.
I just think of all those businesses. Think of what 500 new people living on this vacant land
I know.
right near the tracks
If
could
I
do for
had those-
supporting
no, if it's
between
gonna
the
be those
two.
micro apartments, I'm just
They're not micro apartments.
I need.
These are okay.
I need.
No.
That
I
needs
need
a law.
a 2,000 square foot.
No, what is the
2,000
average
square
size?
foot law? That's
What-
what I need.
We got that for you at the top of the
Where?
Alexion building when they go out of business.
I know, right?
What is the average size of these apartments? Seriously.
I looked at it when I wrote it. I don't remember, but it wasn't 300
And I
square
need it to
feet.
be
Okay,
affordable.
those 300 and 500 square feet apartments are just, you got people living like rodents. Let's be quite honest. They're literally living on top of you. We should not live like that in a city like
People
this.
live like that in all parts of the world.
But not here in the city of New
Not
Haven.
like
We're on the
rodents,
open
but
air.
they live compact.
Yeah.
I mean, when you go to China, everybody lives
We're not
compact.
Chinese. What is wrong with you?
Maybe one of the advantages of New
But
Haven
but
is that
most
we
things
have.
here are made in China, so
Maybe one of the advantages of New Haven is that we have enough going on that you can have enough market for apartments, but it's not so much that we don't need them to be 300 square feet. We don't need to be that squished because we're not New York.
Right.
I need 3,000.
Exactly. See, you want to spread out. We need
I just
room.
think it's a
It is
silly
just so
nuisance
wrong.
lawsuit. And somebody asked a good question I thought on the website, which was, can they start their building process giving a lawsuit? Like this one's like an environmental, like it's gonna.
They say there's a drainage ditch that's going to be paved, from dirt in a little square is going to be asphalt, so they're not going to drain as well.
But like, does that really hold up the process? Like they already have all the approvals they need to
They've
build.
had them for years,
So
and
they just start.
they haven't been able. It's been years. They've had the approvals, and they haven't been able to build because of these nuisance lawsuits. Because that's a lot of
I
money you
just
got to
think it's so
invest. when you
silly
do-
and short-sighted because while they're busy suing this one development, more developments are coming online.
And so-
The Frontier lot or the old New Haven Register lot is going to be built with 400.
Same
units.
developer that wants to build
Same,
there.
like basically right there around State Street.
I don't
So
think you guys understand
how
the power of
are
the
you?
view.
How is that one development
the power of
going to
the
be so
view.
much
That's right.
competition? I just don't understand it. It seems silly.
There's got to be
No,
It
some.
seems like maybe the
It's seems
PNC
silly, but
has
it
like a
really is.
specific grudge against that developer.
No, there are two developers. It's really all business. Now, there are
I see.
two projects, and the one they're not suing this time, I don't know if it's true. They haven't gotten in the ground yet, and I'm wondering if I've heard their financing might not be strong. The one they're going after,
Right now, the lawsuits is in
right? So the one that they're suing again is a very strong developer, Fairfield County, who, as you said, has already got approvals and is building down the street at Audubon Street. So it's just amazing how one greedy out-of-town landlord who's been plaguing our city can stop us from building
And
the
I'm
kind of
totally
housing we
against all
want.
of that, believe me. But you guys you have no idea what the power of the view.
Well, whoever's living there will be able to walk
See,
and get
there
some
you go.
crawfish etouffee. What is that?
Yeah.
What is
What is
crawfish
I
etouffee?
don't know. Yeah,
No, crawfish etouffee.
Etouffee.
What is it?
Etouffee. Yeah, what is that?
What is it?
I could tell by the accent it's something to do with New Orleans.
It's a very New Orleans dish.
Oh, okay. Where is this place?
Yeah, did you eat any of that this
Nice square.
Marquesha, did you eat any of it this week?
No, so they were just doing like light
I think
appetizers.
we're going there tonight. We're going tonight? I think we might go tonight.
But catfish nuggets.
So where is this place?
So it's a nice ground Orange Street.
It's a new restaurant.
It
Right?
used to be Mimi's. Little
What's it
Italian
called
bistro.
now? What's it called now?
Amoy's.
Amoy. So it's New Orleans food.
It's pretty in there too.
Ooh.
I love it.
And Marquise
At the
said the
corner of
woman who
Orange?
ran it
At the corner of Orange and what
Crown?
is that? Crown.
and the woman who started it works in the city government, has helped other people start businesses, and then she got trained in how to start her own business, right? To serve a lifelong dream. What's the woman's name?
Her name is Amoy Brown.
Con Brown. Yeah. And now she has a husband, Phil Brown, who's a long-time jazz musician. Are they going to have
Who was
music?
on my show.
And
Had him on my show, one of my early shows.
is he going to be performing at this place? Are they going to have music too?
They said they would have some live music on occasion. So
On
it'll be
on
soft
occasion.
jazz On occasion. Boom, boom.
Okay, the other thing that's new in New Haven, besides that place, is that we finally got the approval for Joe Ugly's favorite project in town,
What?
Bikes.
bikes. They're going to have a 2 million mile cycle track,
Yes.
protected, meaning it's not a bike lane that's painted.
I'm
Is
loving it.
there a tax fund?
It's actual. There's a physical barrier so that when Harry's zooming down Elm Street,
He won't hit
I mean
me
on
for
Edgewood
50
Avenue
points.
into town, he can't run over the bicyclist
No,
unless he hops it.
Seriously, they're coming in. Oh, okay. Can I
It's
just
going to go from Forest Road
Yeah.
to Park Street. It's going to be the first protected bike lane of its sort, cycle track, two-way in the state.
Oh, okay.
And some people are against it. And the city did this great job of redesigning parts in response to where neighbors were concerned about, like losing
Okay.
parking in outside a coffee shop in Westville. It was really interesting to watch that process work through, and now it's ready to go, and the state's paying for it.
Well, here's the deal. I had a meeting in Westville last week, and I decided that I was going to ride my bike out to the meeting. I'm
that
going
was you?
green.
Yeah.
That was me. I went riding my bike all the way on out to Westville.
You must remember me over. I was
And
walking.
there you go. I was moving kind of slow, but anyway, no. But I'm coming back, and I say, okay, I'm going to take the bike trail. I hit Edgewood Avenue, and then I get all the way to Park Street, which it told me to go straight, which it should have sent me towards Broadway somewhere on House Street. But I got all the way to Park Street, and then I got to go across Chapel down to George Street in order to come back. By the time I got to Chapel Street, there's a kid who's, the kids in their wheelies, going opposite direction.
So in other words, you
It's
follow
like-
the laws. You never ride against traffic.
But the thing is, I was following them.
I salute you.
But that's a problem.
I would never take that long way around. I cut
Exactly.
through the Yale Cabaret, walk my bike if necessary, go to Chapel Street. I ride on the sidewalk for 2 because the one-way streets are crazy. I go on the sidewalk for 2
It is
blocks.
so crazy. I never understood
Not
who
supposed
came
to
up
do
with that design.
In the early urban renewals of the mid-century, you wanted to get people in the 20th century. You wanted to get people in and out of New Haven as fast as possible in their car. That was policy.
No,
So
I'm
we
talking
made
about the
all
bike trail.
Right. So there's no trail there yet.
About the bike route.
Yeah. That's on streets. The reason you were stuck is because we have these crazy patchwork one-way streets downtown from
Yes,
the mid
exactly. I
in
agree
the
with
mid
you.
20th century. We wanted to get cars in and out of
Or
town fast.
the two one ways, it makes no sense. It should be one way in each direction, and one after the other. Two roads going in the same direction, one ways. It's just ridiculous.
But we are going in the same direction on Pundit Friday. WNHH Radio, your home for community radio, 103.5 FM, live stream at NewHavenIndependent.org. We got the best pundits in the universe.
By the way, we got the best
news.
bike trail here out of the city of New Haven too. The Farm Truck Canal. The
Yeah.
farm. Oh, I love that trail. I ride it every day.
That is a
10
good
miles
trail.
every day.
Really?
Yeah, I
You
go
do 10 miles a
5
day?
from my building to Skiff Street on the trail, which is in Hamden, and up there is 5 1/4 miles to Fifth Street. So I do 10.5.
Good man, you're looking good.
I'm borrowing the looks right now.
And you're doing better than the Goodrich boys.
Oh, so bad.
That's New Hallville.
I passed through there on the bike trail, by the way.
New Hallville alleged gang.
Oh, no.
6 members
Is
got
that,
arrested.
is that the gang?
Yep, GSP.
6 got arrested this week for attempted murders, bunch of shootings,
Everything.
and drug dealings. And it was federal and local cops working together, something called Project Longevity. And they're saying this is how it's supposed to work. We get because they say sometimes we did these big roundups, like the Bloodline roundup in 2011.
Right.
Then they got 100 people, and when you really looked at it close, they weren't all kingpins
Right.
on federal charges. Some people were running things, some people were making like no money running a few
Right.
bags. This time they said we were able to, because we're working very closely with data that we share with federal and local, and we meet every day, 4 days a week, the people who investigate all these people, so they share the info, that we really targeted the 6, and they say that worked really well. Project Longevity has been working well, but it's somewhat endangered, as Alan Poe wrote this week, because state kind of helped make it happen too, and they funded a position. The guy who runs it, Stacy Spell, he's a retired detective who's a community organizer in West River. Everyone loves him. He works with the kids in trouble and tries to get them a way out before they get arrested. He's been working for free for weeks now because the state hasn't come through the money because they haven't passed the budget. So the same week we were celebrating the success of Project Longevity and getting the Goodrich boys, a street gang, they also they're having this guy on a precipice who's key to the project's not just locking people up, but offering people a way out. Do you think that's been a real part of Project Longevity? We know they offer the help. Do you think the kids usually take it, or is that just window dressing, or just offering the opportunity whether or not they do?
I don't know.
It is.
I don't know. How do they track the success of this?
Well, when we've asked for statistics in the past, there were not that many people who took them up on the offer. But if the offer's there, and some do, I do think it counts. I watched Stacy Spell passionately when they bring the kids in for call-in, say, here's the evidence we have on you, here's the mom who lost her kid when the kid got shot. We really want to help you get job training, education in an apartment, but this is like your last chance. Most of them don't take it, although I saw the people relate to Stacy.
Well, I mean, I think, Paul, we have got to change our mind a little bit or a lot about what we deem successful. And it can't always just be numbers.
The data, right? Correct.
The fact that an organization exists and is there and is readily available has to really be the notion that this is what success is, that we have the ability to offer this.
Thank you so much.
If a kid,
Thank you so much for saying
and if
this.
everybody knows, then people can funnel kids there. But the other piece is that it takes time to build trust in
Thank you.
communities with
Thank you.
young people.
Right.
Just because you put it up there today doesn't mean kids are going to run to it tomorrow. They have got to know that you are about
And a lot of
being there
times,
for the long haul.
and a lot of times it's that people ignore the basic needs of these kids. Basic needs such as food. I have to run through food on kids every single day.
And we don't think about how
basic
hungry kids
food.
are.
They're hungry. I ask every day, when's the last time you ate? You see a kid look at you and say,
Not to cut you off, Joe,
but you're gonna.
but I am gonna cut you off.
hungry.
I'm just shocked that that federal agencies could actually work with local cops to get these guys.
He's talking about immigration.
I'm shocked. I'm shocked that that
Well,
actually
Harry,
works.
the difference is that they're on the same page about what they're doing.
Thank
So
you.
lucky we
There's
have
a
Harry here.
disagreement, a fundamental
Good question.
disagreement about what's the right way to handle it.
And this is a very good question on Harry's part. So I think let's explore it because I do think it's a very legitimate question. So on immigration, the argument local cops make is that they have to trust the local cops, the immigrants, or we can't solve crimes. And that police chiefs, some of whom were really dyed in the wool Donald Trump supporters, they said our cities got safer, fewer people got shot and robbed. Once we didn't get involved in immigration, the immigrants knew it and they trusted us and worked with us. So we don't have the same mission as the feds. Although if the feds tell us someone's violent and they can prove it, of course we're going to help them, and no one disagrees with that. On the drug cases, they felt that because federal charges are more serious, that gives them more of the local cops feel that that'll help get the drug dealers, because the tools feds have to investigate are better than those available to local cops. Pooling resources helps them solve those cases. Do you really not think there's and I do think it's a fair question, Harry. You really don't agree that there's a difference in those missions?
Not really. When you're saying that the local cops, it's not their job to even
Enforce
worry
federal law.
about, even worry about what the federal agencies want. But when it's conveniently,
It's not
when
convenient.
it conveniently aligns with what you guys want, you're there.
He is right that in one case we're saying
No,
federal
no,
law is part of a job, not the other. But here's the thing, Harry, that I don't get. Pro-Trump police chiefs across the country are disagreeing with you.
Right.
Pro-Trump police chiefs,
And I'll tell you
the
why
people
in a second.
endorse Donald Trump, say we're doing this every day. Our officers are lives at risk. We're keeping the public safe. And they're saying that on the ground, you're wrong, Harry. They're saying that on the ground, this is how we do jobs. Are you telling pro-Trump police chiefs they're wrong about how they do their job and therefore they should do it the way you want to?
Yeah, because police chiefs are political, right?
Oh my God.
And they're worried about they're worried about how the people feel.
But they're political.
Police chiefs need federal funding.
They're political.
They need federal funding to
Yeah.
do a lot of the things that they want to do locally.
And they're
So,
politically
if they're
pro-Trump.
and they're like, we support Trump, but
What I want to do
we
is I
think
want to
he's
see
wrong on
the
this issue.
statistics because I always hear the immigrants actually won't go to the police and they help the police. I want to see the statistics of the information brought to the police by the illegal immigrants.
I have covered these cases. I've met the immigrants.
Not
I've met
one,
the cop.
Not
And
two
there is no
cases.
question.
I
And
want to see
every cop says the crime went down as a result. Every chief.
why. Because immigration wasn't enforced. That's the thing.
No, because at first the people were scared to talk to them, and that when they found out they weren't going to get arrested and the word got out, then they felt they could control it.
Right. That's the statistics I want to see. Not just one case. Where you go, oh, this guy got mugged.
What would be satisfying? Like, how many cases would you need to see? Would it have to be 5?
No, in honor of our second birthday, we have a milestone.
Because I get a sense that it really wouldn't matter if it were 1,000.
No, but Harry Jones usually argues
It
against
would.
statistics and evidence-based arguments, saying that everyone cooks them. Like
True.
yesterday when we argued how all the studies are showing that low-skilled jobs actually go up, not down, when you have low-skilled immigration come in. But he said, but that doesn't make intuitive sense. I don't care what the numbers are.
No.
But now he wants invented
No,
numbers
no,
that
no,
goes
no.
against what every police chief in America is saying.
You brought it up, Paul. So let's go into economics, right?
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
no.
So just think about this. So let's just say there are 30 immigrants who have jobs, right? Who are getting paid at 50% of what they would pay a union worker or something like that, right? Now you grab all those immigrants and you deport them. Now 15 people take over those jobs. You no longer have 30, but they're 15 Americans. Now
Wait
you're,
a second, wait a
you're
second.
counting 15 jobs lost, but that's not
Somebody
true.
better tell
Okay,
those farmers.
so in the study,
Right.
Tell them.
I know Harry doesn't care about evidence, but there was a whole series of studies came out from conservative, moderate, and liberal economists. They all said that what more often happened in those cases was the jobs got mechanized or they got left wanted. But when low-skilled immigrants came in, more jobs were created because a greater market was created. They became dishwashers. There were more restaurant jobs out front.
Because
There were more
getting paid
customers
less.
going to the stores
That
to
makes
hire
no
the people to
sense.
work at.
But they're not creating American jobs. They're creating
American support
low-paying
jobs.
jobs.
They wash the
for immigrants.
in Mexico. In Mexico.
No, it was the front. It was the front of the restaurant. It was the waiter was
They're
the
not.
American
But
job.
what about the
They're not
waiters
paying
who-
Americans.
What about hiring more
American wages.
No, what
They
about-
are. They support
Yeah,
jobs.
no,
Saying that's
no,
what
no.
Gary's saying. I'm not saying
Well, wait,
that's true.
Well, wait a minute, Harry. What about, like Paul just said, the waiters who get jobs, the bartenders, more jobs go into the
Because
front
the
end.
part of what the
So-
study said is that the immigrants couldn't take the jobs. We have to speak English to other people. So actually,
It's
the
not like
higher
rolling
paying
the car without
jobs.
tires.
Well, look, separate from immigration,
You
I wanna-
need the tires.
I want to take
And we're
bets
also
here.
talking about people who
I'm right.
have come to the country to be productive. Like we've shifted from the criminal element to
Right.
people who aren't
I'm-
criminal. And I personally don't. I'd rather my police force not be worried about somebody's immigration status. Oh, by the way, for somebody who's been here for 20 years working and doing nothing else
Right.
wrong other than having entered this country illegally or having had their visa expire while they're here. There's priorities, right? Like this is what government has to always be about, which is priority. We can't do everything.
I agree.
And there's a little boy got shot in our town and is dead. I'm worried about whether we have enough resources to go look for his killers. I care less about somebody who's here illegally. I just do.
Preach.
Unless they're responsible for killing that kid, I don't care.
That's what I was just gonna say. You could
I
drop the
don't
mic
care.
there. I agree with you.
All right. All right. We have agreement here on
I feel
Pundit
like I'm
Fridays.
about to something like Harry's like, all right, we're done.
When Marquisha gets going, there is no point in even saying
That's
anything
right.
else. On WNHH Radio 103.5 FM, launch team,
Because Congress
BenjaminBen.org
shall make no law.
First.
to contradict
Okay,
Marquisha
Fridays.
Ricks. Okay. So, bets, folks. Luis Casanova is the assistant chief.
Oh,
He's always been at
no,
war
y'all seen the cartoon
with the chief.
today?
The chief, Anthony Campbell. They don't get along. Casanova won that job this week. Anthony Campbell put him not on discipline, but took him off running a training academy after an incident where Casanova disagreed with the decision the chief made while the chief was out of town, which is that some cops who did not follow search and seizure procedures, they didn't need to be suspended, but they need to go back to training academy, some retraining, search and seizure. Casanova said this is BS. They're good cops, anything wrong. So he ordered the supervisors there to change what they're doing that day, not make as much as a punishment. Supervisor said, we feel you're caught in the middle of this hostile work environment. So Campbell came back in town. The chief said, we're going to investigate this in the meantime. We want the chief there. The second time they had to kind of run in earlier. There's another incident where Campbell had suspended Casanova. Bets. How long is he going to remain the assistant chief? Is he going to dig in and say, I'm fighting, I'm not going to let the guy get away with
If
it?
I were him, I'd be out by him.
Or is he going to take a
I'm
beautiful
retired.
retirement check, which is the rest of his life, probably $80,000 or more a year plus health care, and he's still in his 40s, I believe, and do something else?
Young, he could go do
Yeah.
anything else. Like,
But he's digging in. He's decided not
No,
to.
I would retire.
I would take the money and run.
Because I wouldn't want this to sully anything else that I might want to do. So I would just go ahead and take that.
Because as it stands, you can just let the chief be petty looking with all of this and just walk.
Well, Harry Dross, who is Latino, has reflexively defended. I'll tell you why. He's reflexively defended Casanova every time he comes up because he's Latino. Campbell's black, and he's always said the brown guy's getting screwed. Is that how you feel in this case?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Look, let me tell you, Casanova should just dig in and not deal with this racism.
Please let him explain what it is.
Obviously, black against brown racism.
No, we're not gonna have no minority wars. Heck no. I'm
Now,
not even gonna
this is a new view for Harry.
No,
Because Harry, now if you're the chief of police, Harry, if the chief of police says discipline these guys, and someone below him contradicts the order and changes what they do, you think it's racism to
Is
say
that
you
not
can't do that?
insubordination?
Let me
I would go for
Let
let me roll it back a little bit here. I was
$500.
getting
minority
the
wars.
hyperbole just
Casanova,
to
I know someone who could
like
give you a good
that.
job in a PI
Uh,
firm.
no, but what I
None of this
believe,
minority war.
Joe,
No, you're running a
Come
minority
on.
war thing. This
I-
minority war.
Joe, let me roll it back. Come on. No, look, I think if Casanova disregarded an order, he should suffer some type of discipline. But obviously, though, we do have a problem.
He can't even get it out.
I can't
But
even
don't
do
you
it.
think it would wear on me if I were in his shoes to recognize, like, come to that
Well,
realization that
actually,
I
I
don't
would
feel like
retire.
I can follow this person's
I would
command.
retire and move
So
on.
I would retire and move on.
Okay, then we're gonna move on. We got a few more minutes here. How about bets
I'm not
on?
in the money. I'd be like, I'm out.
How about bets on whether Reginald Dwayne Betts is gonna get to be a lawyer in Connecticut? So now you know about Reginald Betts. When he was 16 years old, he did a carjacking, had 3 felony counts. He served 8 years. He got out. He became a well-known poet and writer. He went to Yale Law School and graduated, got a Harvard degree, did public defender work in New Haven, speaks all the prisons. He passed the Connecticut bar exam. But the Connecticut bar won't admit him yet as a lawyer. The first step is they say yes or no, and they say you're routinely rejected because you're a felon. You're going to have to come to a hearing and appeal it and show us why you're in good standing. Meanwhile, the same bar association all the time disciplines lawyers who are drunk on the job, steal money, and let them come back.
Yep.
You obviously see my bias. Do you think he's going to? Now, the New York Times wrote an
Even Jack
editorial
Hughes
saying.
has said that lawyers are the most people who steal money from
Well, that's because he deals with that in protest. He deals with protest. Do you think, first of all, are you as outraged as I am about having a bets, and do you think he'll
I'm
get it?
definitely outright.
What do you think?
outraged.
There's now national outrage. The New York Times had an editorial
Well, I
about
hope
it.
it is, because you know what? You can't say to people, turn your life around, and then when people turn their life around,
penalize them for it.
you still want to penalize them as if they are serving time.
And Connecticut is you're a second chance state. You really can't make
Just not
those
for
two
you.
things work.
Right.
Oh, no, we didn't mean you. I'm
We
sorry.
mean you.
Okay, here's
We
another
really need a
bet. We're
second
taking
chance.
bets. The Duncan Hotel.
Yes.
Kind of
love
rundown
that place.
charm. People love that place. It has boarders, 45 people who live
Oh,
there
they
a
were
month,
paying
week to
some
week,
outrageous
and they
rates.
pay like 170 a week or something. And then people come and visit, and regular people who
It's
like
almost like,
charm.
it sounded like it was almost like a hostel for some people.
Right, and for other people, like the head of the music department at Yale, stayed there. He just loved the charm, and they have the oldest elevator in the state that and that a man takes you upstairs and all that kind of stuff. So now everyone
I
has
love that building.
everyone has until November to leave. It's going to be the latest upscaling downtown. A Chicago company does boutique hotels with university themes. It's going to invest and make it
So we
expensive.
need more of that.
Yes,
Well,
we
actually,
do.
people say we do. Actually, they say the rooms are going wanting. They say they do. Right down the street from the Study, which is the second place that did that. Around the corner from
Actually,
Randy
right next
Salvador's
door to
built.
the
Yeah,
study, isn't it?
yep. 2 blocks away from Randy Salvador's doing another boutique hotel. People
Oh,
saying
is
they're
there?
yeah, and everyone wants to build these. The tenants I talked to were not mad. It's the first eviction I've covered, mass eviction, where they said it's so nice they actually, at the Harper Station's urging, hired a company, Glendale, part of the Housing Authority, to help us find new places over 3 months. They felt that we didn't feel we should be able to stay there together. We're very sad we're going to leave because we don't make a lot of money. Some of these were writers or one was a housekeeper, and said I don't know. We'd like to still live downtown. We don't have cars. We'd like to get to everything, and we love being in the middle of the action. I don't know if we ever afford any place like this again, and we love being here as a little community. But we think it's the guy's right who's owning it. You know, the same family had it for several generations. They're not getting rid of it. The owner's older. We think it wasn't unfair. We're sad, but they weren't complaining.
See, that's real people, man. I mean, people have just got to the point.
They
where
felt they were treated
understand-
right by the management.
Right,
They felt they
exactly.
weren't
It's about
exploited.
How you treat people
Yeah.
in any incident. Where you have individuals who will leave your roof leaking in, like what we had in Church Street South, and of course the people are going to be up in anyone. You treat people as slumlords, and of course you're going to.
One guy showed me where a mouse was running, and he used a trap, and he wasn't mad. He said the carpet's clean. He said the mark's clean. I've been in other SROs, single market places where it was a pit, and he was illegally cooking there. And he said they probably know they're not bothering me, even though it could be a big fire. It was kind of understanding. So another guy saw was an older man who had a photography studio. They let him keep it there, very low rent, and live there. Another woman who came here with no money to live from the South, and they let her be a housekeeper and then live there for extra low rent. It's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
I know.
It speaks to a community that maybe is kind of dying.
Yeah.
Like where
I was going to say
where
that.
people looked out for each other.
I wish there was another place that we could create for them.
Exactly. That created that same sense of community where people could maintain their ties and that they know that, like, for the people who own whatever next building that they go to, it's not just a building. It's not just a job for the people who work there to maintain it. That it feels like we're invested in who you are and we care about you. So, if your rent, like because we talk to people who are being evicted because they get a little behind on their rent because of medical problems. And people just don't care. They're like, I'm sorry, like your lease says you need to pay your rent.
So Mayor Harper
Harper
and Development Chief Matt Neverson say we're trying to do something in New Haven, which is as downtown real estate's getting more expensive, while we're going to be a hotter city, we do want to include housing, a mix of housing. Other people say if the real estate's hot there, go to a different neighborhood. They're saying, look at the nice square where we do have the mix. Even Joe Ugly's tower has some floors that are public housing. They think it can work, but it's going to be a challenge. They say that's our challenge. How are we get the people actually work in these buildings? Will they be able to live near there or not? They're going to make so. Here's hoping they succeed.
I hope so, because I want to live back downtown at some point in my life.
No,
Well, we got you the Alexion building.
I'm waiting. It'll.
Don't worry,
right at
they're
the right
falling
time.
apart. Yeah, the company's falling apart.
How do you guys really think this is going to go to housing? This is not
Yeah, they're trying to make it look like they're going to survive, get that stock price back.
Oh, okay. This is
I
going.
know the city is like, if you don't stop talking about Alexia.
I can't
Like that. Shut up about Lexington.
I just figured out the Reginald Vets situation. Figured it out.
Uh-oh.
He should give up his citizenship, become a Mexican citizen, then come in through the border, and then it won't matter what you do here in America, right?
Thanks
They
for that
won't
cheap
care about
shot,
the
Harry
felony.
Droz. Now,
They won't care about anything.
he would be fired from Google in a minute.
Did you see my favorite? That's my favorite producer, Harry.
He is. We love Harry Droz.
You, Harry Droz, do not reflect the views of the pundits.
That makes sense.
I'm going to think about this next week because I will not be here. I'm on vacation. The
Yeah, where you
independent.
going?
My wife and I get an Airbnb in the center of Massachusetts near a lake,
Oh,
and we're staying with our daughters and daughter-in-law in Western Mass for part of the time.
nice.
So I'm going to miss you guys. But we'll be back in 2
So we're
weeks.
not having pundits.
Right, be back in
All
2
right,
weeks.
we'll do that. 2 weeks.
Well, we're missing 1
Right
week.
for me.
Missing 1 week. Missing 1 week.
Are you in charge? Oh Lord.
Nobody do anything
Listen,
ridiculous.
Can't nobody run nothing like sisters. At every place where sisters run stuff, it go all right.
No doubt.
It better.
There's no question there.
You should have seen
Thank you for
that.
joining us today on Dateline New Haven. Thanks to the best pundits in the media universe, Babs Rolls Ivy,
Hey.
Markeisha Ricks, the bravest man in New Haven, Harry Droz,
You steal somebody's
and the
identity,
man of so many
You vote Democrat.
appellations.
you vote them.
So ugly. We're going to take it out with the Afro-Semitic Experience performing I Wish I Knew How It'd Feel to Be Free from the group CD, A Plea for Peace. Now, we know what it's like to be free. We just got to remember to book our flight. Book it and fly free with us all weekend long here at WAHH, New Haven's home for community radio.
Whoop, whoop, whoop.